All right, Gunners, back at it again. Back at it again. You get me? Back at it again. Welcome back to the channel, the Arsenal podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and of course, you can hit that share button if you feel like to. I want us to talk about some of the news, especially transfer news at the Emirates today. What is going on? Partey, Aouar has been, much of the jazz, but what else is going on at the Emirates? First and foremost, it looks like Balogun is going to be leaving the club. He's not going to be signing a new contract. I think we have not given him the terms he wants, just like Emi Martinez. So he could be leaving the club. One of those young strikers that you would think Arsenal would want to keep. But in most cases, if a player wants to go, I've already said it, that if a player wants to go, if a player doesn't want to play with you anymore, the best thing you can do is to let them go. So Balogun could be on his way out of us, and there are two clubs linked with him. First one is Brentford and the other is Brighton. Brighton is in the EPL and Brentford is in the Championship. For a player like him, I think both of them are good clubs. You go to Brighton, you're going to get some good football in the EPL, play in the EFL Cup, FA Cup, and there is hope for him when he goes to Brighton. And I think Brentford is another club that can also give him a whole lot of good experience. So it will depend where he wants to go, but it seems he's not going to be extending his stay any longer at the Gunners Stadium. Still moving on, Sead Kolasinac has been told to leave by Mikel Arteta. It is confirmed that he is not going to be giving him any more chances. What an awful performance he had against West Ham. The worst performance, the worst player I've ever seen on Arsenal pitch in the in the past 360 days. That was really bad. Really bad. I've watched all Arsenal, podcasts, and videos, player ratings. The best he got was from DT, 1 out of 10. That was an awful performance. And of course, there are two clubs that are interested in him. That is West Ham and Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal value him at 10 million. I don't think anyone is going to give us 10 million in Sead Kolasinac. Especially that he had such a bad performance over the weekend. 10 million, it would be a wastage of time, a wastage of money. I know Bayer Leverkusen have grabbed some, good money from the sale of Kai Havertz, but still, they're not going to give you 10 million. But, in my prayer is he finds the door, he finds any club that can take him away from Arsenal. For me, it would be just enough. That's the truth. It would be just enough. Get out, Sead Kolasinac. West Ham want him, but probably they would want to do a loan deal, and Arsenal are interested in selling him, off at once. That means his chances might be bigger to go back to Germany than actually staying in the English Premier League. And the truth is, if anyone buys Kolasinac, we have to thank them, because they will be doing us a very big favor no other club can ever do for us. Kolasinac, the worst player in the side. Still moving on, Lucas Torreira is in talks with Atletico Madrid to say that they can actually take him in the Spanish La Liga. Now, what is more interesting about this story is that Arsenal wanted to hijack, the opportunity and, put in a swap deal for Thomas Partey, but it has been turned down by Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are saying, we don't have the money to spend on Lucas Torreira right now, and we don't want a swap deal for Thomas Partey. We are going to sign him on loan. And Arsenal also saying, no, we are not going to be actually accepting that. Now, still, this is another transfer deja vu. Like I said yesterday, you have a lot of uncertainties when with the Thomas Partey deal. A lot of uncertainties, because when Atletico Madrid move in for Torreira, everybody thinks it's gonna be an easy deal. You're going to sign in Partey in that swap deal and blah blah blah. But it seems they are not interested. Actually, they're not interested in taking in Torreira for Partey. They want him on a loan deal with a mandatory buy, with a mandatory buy option there for you. Of course, course, there are still links with Torreira from Italy, especially with Fiorentina and Torino. They are interested in his services, but Atletico Madrid seem to be the very, very lucky men to take him at this moment. Reports show that suggest that Simeone has called him and contacted him, and they have talked over phone over a potential move. I cannot really justify that, but all I can say is that Atletico Madrid have some interest, but Fabrizio Romano confirmed that that Atletico Madrid will have to sell some players if they need to actually make more signings. Now that means they cannot give us straight cash, and if they cannot give us straight cash, we can't accept it, because we need straight cash from the door to get in players like Awa and Partey, so that we can actually progress. Moving on, Socrates again linked with the Italian clubs. Napoli still leading the race. I don't know why he doesn't wake up one day and he has left. That's the truth. I don't know why he doesn't wake up and he has left. I think here I would blame Edu for this delay, but still I think Arsenal want to get some little cash out of this too, and I think that's the reason as to why the deal is not done yet. They want to we want to get some little cash out of the sale of Socrates, and the players negotiating his way around this deal, saying Arsenal, leave me to go on a free deal, leave me to go on a free transfer, so that I can get a decent wage at Napoli, because if he goes as a free transfer to Napoli, he's going to get decent a decent negotiation ground, and he's going to negotiate very good wages there for himself. I think at the end of the day, we might lose Socrates at getting no pennies. We wanted around 3.5 or 5 million. That is the truth. But still, I think if we want to let him off and get him off the wage bill, because Socrates and Kolasinac are one of those players that really get heavy wages at Arsenal. I think Socrates is at 90k and Kolasinac is at 100k. So that means we have to get them off the wage bill if we are going to bring in more players. And my instincts tell me that must be one of the reasons why we cannot afford to bring in more players, not because of the cash, but because of the wages. Still moving on, Chambers linked with Newcastle and West Ham. Now Newcastle are leading the race to take on Callum Chambers, but they still want him on loan. Arsenal want a cash deal. They are saying, if you want to take Chambers, please give us money. Now there is a transfer twist here. There is a big transfer twist here when it comes to Callum Chambers, because he's injured, and you don't think anyone is going to give you decent money in a player who's injured, and either they take him on a loan deal and then they negotiate a mandatory buy clause, or he stays at the club, he heals, and then you sell him after his injury recovers. So that is what we have. But West Ham are also wanting him. They want to take him on a loan deal as well. I'm not really sure of how and when this transfer is going to happen. But Callum Chambers, trust me, one of those players I don't believe they still have a place to play at Arsenal. Signed by Arsene Wenger for 16 million from Southampton, and I'm going to ask, I always ask myself, Southampton have always had the best players in the league. How the hell did we sign Callum Chambers from there? Arsene Wenger, Raul Sanelli, and all that crap board. I'll just crucify them. Shkodran Mustafi has been offered to Lazio, 13.7 million. You guys still remember he cost us almost 35 million pounds signing from Spain. Now we are gonna sell him at 13.7 million. There is nothing he has done at the club. 13.7, I think the loss is around 17 million. We are making a loss of around 17 million with Shkodran Mustafi, another player who was signed by under Arsene Wenger, and he didn't work out. Actually, if you guys look at almost all the deadwood we have, it was signed by Arsene Wenger, and we are now, trying to get rid of it, but we can't. The Kolasinacs, they were signed by Arsene Wenger. Chambers, Mustafi, all those players, were signed by the old rotten regime of Arsene Wenger. So Mustafi is offered to Lazio. I don't know whether Lazio are going to pick him up, but still I think it must be a loan deal. He's injured and he hasn't recovered yet from his injury. So I think, if we were going to give him to Lazio, it might still be a loan deal. But still we need to get off, many players off the wage bill, and we need to do away with some of the defenders. We have so many defenders, that's the truth. You have Pablo Mari, you have Magalhaes, you have David Luiz, you have William Saliba, you have Mustafi, you have Chambers, you have Socrates, you have Kolasinac, you have Tierney, we have Bellerin, Ainsley Maitland-Niles has become a right back, Cedric. So we have so many defenders, and we don't need them, all of them, do we? We don't need them. So I think we should do away with the players we don't want, and I think that's the news transpiring at the Emirates Stadium. I'm gonna be very hurt if Florian Balogun leaves the club and joins Brentford or Brighton. I see a very big potential, very, very big potential in him. He's one player that I would love him to stay. I would love to see at Arsenal. He's a brilliant bowler, brilliant striker. If we lose Alexander Lacazette and we are not willing to spend, I thought he would be one player that we would use in the place of Alexander Lacazette. I would compare him to Edin Nketiah, but the truth is Nketiah broke through the first team confidently. He's doing magic. He's doing a whole lot of good things under Mikel Arteta, and I don't want to disappoint you and disappoint myself by saying that Balogun is far way better than Edin Nketiah anymore, because I think after that performance off the bench at West Ham, I still see something in Edin Nketiah. So that is the news. Balogun linked with Brentford and Brighton. Kolasinac linked to West Ham and Leverkusen. We want 10 million in him. Do you think he's worth 10 million? I'm not really so sure about that. Torreira in talks with ATM. Now, over a potential loan deal that Arsenal are objecting to. They're saying you either give us straight cash or you give us part in a swap deal. Socrates, a link to Napoli, but on a free deal because he wants to get decent wages. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Chambers to Newcastle on loan or West Ham. Those are the two parties interested. Mustafi offered to Lazio at £13.7 million. What else can I talk about around the Emirates apart from the upcoming EFL Cup League, EFL League game that's coming up, Leicester against Arsenal. I think it will be tomorrow. I'll be dropping a video about probable lineups. I'll be dropping Mikel Arteta's press conference. I'll be dropping what else? The match preview and prediction. So make sure you follow the channel until we do all that. And of course, I'm gonna start the Liverpool build-up a little bit earlier. I'll start it on Thursday. I'll start it on Friday. I'll start it on Friday. Do it on Thursday. No, do it on Friday, Saturday, and then we go into the game on Sunday. So make sure you don't miss. So thank you for sticking around. That is what our crap club is linked with today. I mean, those are the players we want to do away with. I didn't, talk about the incoming signings, but I think I'll be doing a Thomas Partey video very soon. So make sure you tuned in. Yeah, make sure you tuned in. Love you so much.